Ooh. Hello everyone, it is me, Emily. I'm back after a hot minute with a new video. Instead of doing any kind of like DIY or project, I actually today wanted to branch into something that I've wanted to do for a while now, and that is commentary. I'll just go ahead and start off and say that this is a totally scripted video. I have my laptop down here, so if you see me like looking down here, that's what it is. Figured I'd just get that out of the way before you guys are wondering what's on my bed. That's so interesting. So a little bit of backstory and a reason why. If you don't already know, I have an English degree. I love reading and writing and like overanalyzing everything in front of me, but I work in finance. So at this point I get like super excited to like write emails and argue with people on Facebook. It's getting bad. Today I wanted to look at a topic that is near and dear to my heart. Multi-level marketing. Don't worry. This isn't about pyramid schemes if you're worried about that, because pyramid schemes are actually like illegal. So they're technically not allowed to exist in the United States. You know, because the United States is really good about mitigating illegal activity. I just wanted to make a quick disclaimer. This video is, I'm making it purely for entertainment / educational purposes. Everything that I'll be using today, I won't be talking about specific people in MLMs. I'll just be talking about the MLMs themselves and what multi-level marketing is. But I want to make it really clear that this is just, you know, for fun. This is just a little bit of what I know. This is my personal research and my personal anecdotes. I think we're ready to get going. With all of that out of the way, let's get started. I really hate MLMs. I think that they're awful. I think they're predatory. I think that they prey on vulnerable people, and I think the world is a generally worse place for having them around. When I bring this up, I often have people ask me why I'm so staunchly against them. I hear stuff like, well, I like the products and I would never personally do that, but my friend does it, so I just support her, and things like that. And I totally get where those people are coming from, because that's where I was also coming from for a really long time. You know, I didn't use any of the MLM products. I didn't really like the "hey hun" messages that infiltrated my inbox on occasion, but they weren't directly impacting me, so I didn't really care. And I bet a lot of you watching are probably in that same boat. You just don't really care. Obviously, that changed somewhere between then and now. So sit making a video about it. I was hunned one too many times. I'm actually lucky enough to not get super bombarded with DMs and cold messages from people that I don't know. But I found a YouTube video one day from a gal named Kiki Chanel, and I will link it below. It was about LuLaRoe, and it actually blew my mind. Like, the statistics and the stories she shared were just so beyond horrifying. And I say horrifying not in a, like, gruesome way, but in a way of, like, I can't believe that real people are being impacted in this way. I had no idea. Like, it's so hidden. I was just so shocked by what I was hearing. Women are still likely tens of thousands of dollars in debt, but they definitely were, like, at the time. And as LuLaRoe was sinking, they just were in so much debt. There was so much business malpractice and all this awful, terrible stuff that I never heard about. And I think what really drove this one home for me, and what made me realize in that moment, like, oh my gosh, I need to do more than just not be using MLMs. I need to be like actively against MLMs. Like, these are an actual objectively bad thing. Was because off the top of my head, I knew so many women who had gotten involved with LuLaRoe when it was like a big thing back in, I don't know when it was. Like, women I knew at church, my mom's friends, girlfriends that I was friends with, people I worked with, they were just raving about this new brand, and I got added to like 7 Facebook groups in the span of like a month. It was like suddenly there was LuLaRoe, and it was just the thing. At the time, and I want to say it was like 2016. I put it in here somewhere. At the time, it was just really annoying and like hard to like be nice and explain that like, no, I don't want to buy a pair of leggings with a unicorn like stretched across my butt. Like, please, I don't want that. Now I look back and I'm just heartbroken for the people I knew who paid unreal amounts of money thinking that they'd be able to like grow their own business and be a boss babe. Air quotes, boss babe. Guess what? You're not your own boss when you're doing an MLM. These women were literally swindled out of thousands of dollars, and I have a pretty good feeling that most of them never even made back their initial investment. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. What is an MLM? And why are they bad? An MLM, or multi-level marketing, is a pyramid scheme with one technicality that makes it legal, and that is that there are products involved. Multi-level marketing works because like one person buys into it, they get a starter kit, and then they make their money back in 2 different ways. They can sell the products from their starter kit, or they can recruit someone else into the business underneath them. This is called a downline, and you have your upline, the people above you, and your downline, the people below you. And they being the person who bought the starter kit, gets a cut of what their downline pays for the starter kit. It's just like, it's just so simple and easy, right? Right? Wrong. I'll point out right now that this is why I'm against even buying MLM products, and honestly, this is why you should be too. When you buy that shampoo or those leggings from a friend starting her own business, that money isn't going directly to her. It's also going to her upline, which are all the people above her, like I mentioned earlier, in this recruitment model. And also, buying from your friend is going to give her that false sense of hope that, oh, maybe she can make this work. Now, this is a great time for me to mention something called the sunk cost fallacy. It basically says, once someone has put money into something, I'm looking at you, starter kits. I'm looking at you. They'll continue the project or the business or whatever it is, even if that business is logically not proven to be worth it. This becomes a problem as MLM distributors look at the money they've already spent and they believe that they can make their business happen and that they just need to keep working, which oftentimes means keep spending, pouring more money into the MLM. Many MLMs make you buy a certain amount of product every month, whether or not you're actually selling it, in order to stay active. Next, we're going to look at some numbers, and I'm going to be using LuLaRoe as my big example here to kind of break down the MLM structure and like just why it's so bad. Ugh, it just makes me so angry because LuLaRoe's buy-in cost literally made my jaw drop. It made me like, what the heck? I like texted my mom. I was like, oh my gosh, did you know this? She did. I didn't. I turned to my boyfriend. I was like, did you know this? He didn't. So at LuLaRoe's height of success, I think it was in 2016, this is like the 3rd time that I've guessed, their cheapest onboarding package was $5,000 or $4,995. You know, pocket change. I'll put the graphic up on the screen, like, right there. So you can see, this is from 2016. That was their cheapest option. It was $5,000 with a plus sign. That was the cheapest option. Hopefully you can, like, see where I'm coming from with the sunk cost fallacy. Anyone putting $5,000 into a new business is going to want to do anything to grow that business, like with a period. That has a period at the end. You put $5,000 in, You're going to want something out of that. On top of that, once we get into the demographics that MLMs target, you'll really see why that's just so bad. Like $5,000 to start a real business that's your business, that has your name, where you decide everything, where you are the actual real life boss. $5,000 makes sense. Not $5,000 to pay someone else to do everything for you and then like never see that money again. So like I said, the recruitment model is where this is just so bad. It's predatory. That's it. It's predatory. And we'll crunch some numbers here. So I did a little bit of light digging. I did some light research. And I came across an old article from a blog called Mompreneur, where they talk about like ways to like, you know, raise your family but still have a business or still make money. According to this blog, they spoke with a LuLaRoe consultant, and I discovered that LuLaRoe consultants would make 5% of the starter kit cost with each consultant they signed up underneath them. Does that make sense? So like if they sign someone up with that smallest starter kit, they make an instant $250 off of that $5,000. And then they make 5% of everything the new consultant buys from LuLaRoe after that. On the other hand, so that's the one way to make money. That's a recruitment way to make money. Sorry, my AC just came on, so if you start hearing that, sorry. Anyway, we're going to the other hand. The other way you can make money is to sell the product. And the profit margin for each clothing item is around 35% to 60%. This is still according to that Mompreneur blog. And the consultant that they spoke with estimated that the average profit margin per piece is about $15, give or take. So that's the number we're going to be using as our average. And this sounds like fine. Like I read that and a part of me was like, okay, like that doesn't seem too bad, until I actually thought about it, played out in real life. But when you look at it laid out on a blog, laid out on a pretty pink and yellow sheet that looks nice, and it's something that all your friends are doing, it seems like parties where you bring people in and you show them your inventory and they like buy stuff from you. Seems like you're going to be able to make a decent amount of money off of these. Basically, this is continuing to be laid out in this blog post. If you have a party and you sell 20 items, average of $15 a piece, you make $300 per party. And then if you host several parties a week, you make even more money. So, you know, if you host 2 parties, it's $600, and 3 parties, it's $900. More parties means more people buying things and more money for you, because you are a boss babe. Ooh. Sorry, I shouldn't be. Boss babes. Be a real boss babe. Start your own freaking business. That's my advice. So everything is fine and dandy, right? Yeah, until the product sucks and you keep having to try and sell ugly leggings to your friends and family and your aunt. Jackie. I don't know anyone named Jackie. And, oh, don't forget, let's mention that your best friend is the one that you signed up under, and she just had a LuLaRoe party last night. So all of your guys' friends already bought stuff from her, and now you're trying to host your, 4th party of the week, and no one wants to come because they're tired of being asked to buy the ugly leggings. You see where we're getting? Yeah, so I'm getting ahead of myself. For the sake of treating this extremely fairly, let's assume and say that you had a really, really successful first party. And you invited all of your friends and you sold the average 20 items and you made the $300 and woohoo, you're a boss babe. You're doing it. You're totally doing it. You are working hard. And oh, wait, you still have $4,700 left to pay off on the credit card that you used to buy your $5,000 starter kit to begin with. Forgot about that. Now you're trying to host your second party this week, but you already invited everyone that you knew to the first one, and you don't really have anything new to bring them back to you. So now you're stuck. Unless Unless you could try and build your own business and be a real boss babe with employees. Boss babe it up with more boss babes. Be babing it up. You'll be the babe with the power. Yeah, like you could try and build your own business, and oh my gosh, your upline that like brought you on to be a consultant, they're like, yes, girl, grow your own business, do the boss babe thing. Like they're gonna hype you up. So you're gonna go to Aunt Jackie and you're gonna ask if she wants to try her hand selling LuLaRoe, and then if she signs up, you get that really easy $250, and you don't have to host an entire party to get it. Like, it's one person versus trying to sell to a room of like 25 people and make that $300, which honestly, thinking about it, it sounds kind of difficult. And like, why wouldn't you want to give everyone the same opportunity that you've been given to be a boss babe? But don't forget, like, the more people that you sign up underneath you to sell LuLaRoe, the more people you're also going to have as competition now also trying to sell LuLaRoe. Just food for thought. And I know, I'm only using one example. And like I said, I chose LuLaRoe because the numbers are so big and they are so shocking. And it's what got me interested in the MLM world, specifically the anti-MLM world. But I need you to understand that all MLMs operate like this. They do. And just because an MLM has a smaller startup cost doesn't mean it's going to be easier for you to earn your money back. It means that the profit margins for the items you're selling are also lower, and you're going to find yourself caught between constantly selling and trying to recruit your friends and family so you can make a dime off their back. And so this is kind of where I wanted to get into who these businesses target and why. They purposefully go after stay-at-home moms, military wives, young people fresh out of high school, and other vulnerable people who may be seeking something flexible and like not your typical 9-to-5 position, or they're seeking community, or they're just trying to find like a good way to make money without working hard. Genuinely, some people just want that get-rich-quick scheme and they'll fall for it. MLMs quite literally fester in groups of vulnerable people. Fester. Here's what I see happening most often. Sorry, I'm like, I look like I'm trying to speak sign language, but I do not know how. Churches with lots of stay-at-home moms who are looking for a way to bring in some extra income without leaving their kids. Moms who are searching for friendships and connection. Fresh 18-year-olds who just graduated high school and are susceptible to being roped into like a dream job and the chance to work for yourself. And on military bases where military spouses, English major, like you said, military spouses tend to check all of those boxes. And I feel that military spouses, these are usually young women, so just know I'm going to be saying wives from here on out, but I do recognize you if you're male or non-binary and you are getting roped into a pyramid scheme. I see you. But I feel like military wives are especially vulnerable because they tick all of those boxes. They're usually pretty young, maybe they're already having kids, they're way far away from any city where they could get like a real job, and they're also usually very far from their friends and family, so they are just desperate to make connections and find some purpose and find a job that's more permanent than working like fast food or retail. And there's nothing wrong with those jobs, just FYI. I worked at Starbucks for 5 years. I know what that life is like. But, it is hard to move up in a job like that when you're planning on moving around every 2 to 4 years. There's no promise of growth. And the likelihood of a retail chain genuinely investing in you if they know you're going to have to move is low. So anyway, I hope that you can see where I'm coming from with that. And knowing all of this, MLMs tend to promote a very expensive, extravagant lifestyle. They make spending your own money and living this rich person dream life, air quotes are the thing of the day for me apparently. Well, they make this dream life look realistic and attainable. They make it look like MLMs, and this MLM business is what's going to get you there. They are experts at making people feel like they're missing out. FOMO, heard of it? free cars and trips are just some of the ways that people get lured in. And oftentimes, the people at the top of an MLM look like they have everything. They have the perfect Instagram page, they have a large following, and plenty of people with that large following who are just ready and willing to jump into the business with them in the hopes that they can get even like half of what this person at the top is getting. If you're interested, I'll go into that a little bit more in the future. I just see it so much on like the mom side of Instagram. That's a whole video, like, in and of itself. I won't get into it right now. The point is, MLMs make you feel like you're missing out. That's what they want you to feel. The MLM huns, because they, hey hun, up in your inbox, they make you feel like if you sign up with them, you're going to get the friendships and the community that you want. You're going to have these, like, fun and adventurous girlfriends that you want. And you're going to be able to, like, work from home and be your own boss and like make good money, and they try to sell you a pipe dream. It is a lie. I'm telling you right here, right now, it is a lie. The people you see on Instagram making big bucks and living that dream life are probably not as successful as they claim to be. And if they are, they probably got in at the very, very beginning. And if you try and get in now, you are going to be at the very, very bottom of their downline. Your money is going to make its way up to them. Make its way up to them. I'm slapping the tree. Plants. Slapping the plants. You get my point. If you get in because everyone else is already doing it, you're walking into an already oversaturated market. Like, please listen to me. You will never, ever, ever, ever get what you're after in an MLM. And if you're feeling offended and like I'm crushing your dream right now, please understand that I do not want to crush your dreams of being successful, having a job that you want and one that works for you and one that you love to do. But I want you to get rid of the idea that an MLM will ever, ever give that to you. Ever, never, ever, never. It will not. And if you're on the fence and you think that maybe I'm just full of it and maybe I'm just, crapping on you and I'm still just like crushing your dream, let me offer you just a little bit more evidence and hopefully I will sway your opinion. MLMs are required by law to provide an income disclosure statement or an IDS, and it goes over the real earnings of the average distributor. Most income disclosure statements are going to go over each rank and the average expected income. So guess what? We're going to look at a few today, and that's the plan. LuLaRoe is hard to read, and I don't blame them for making it as difficult as possible, because when you look at the numbers, the average annual bonus earnings for 99... The camera stopped recording again. I'm going to kind of pop my legs up over this way. There we go. We got our income disclosure statements right here. So LuLaRoe is hard to read. I can see myself in the viewfinder and I see myself just gesturing into the air, which is not uncommon for me when I'm talking in public, but it just looks funny. So theirs is hard to read and I'm looking at it on my laptop. I don't blame them for making it as difficult as possible, because when you actually look at their numbers, the average annual bonus earnings for 99.84, that is almost 100%, of eligible retailers was $6,781.84. That is the annual income of over 99, of almost 100% of retailers. That rounds to, drumroll please, $565 a month before taxes and before considering the startup cost and the cost to stay active every month. That is a real number from LuLaRoe. They willingly put that number out in public. So if you cancel out the startup kit, that brings your profit margin annually to less than $2,000. Less than $2,000 for the entire year. And that is before you pay monthly costs to stay active. Which I'm sorry I didn't get. If you want me to do a deep dive into LuLaRoe, heck yeah. Heck yeah. I want to do it. So let's look at a couple more. Because anyone who tells you their MLM is different is probably lying to you. It works. That's another pretty infamous MLM. and their IDS is a little bit easier to read. 80% of their active distributors are earning an average of $47 a month. 80%. And only 1.7 of active distributors are making anything near a livable monthly wage, with Emerald status distributors earning about $1,084 a month. And then keep in mind that while you're like ranking up, you have to have a team underneath you. Like, nobody's getting to the top just by selling products alone. I'd like to see that person. I would. Like, basically, it's expected that you're going to be recruiting people underneath you. So you just, even if you go in with the best intentions, you still become a scammer, unfortunately. And then you turn those people into scammers because now you're their upline and you want to rank up, so they need to rank up, and they, like, boom, boom. Okay, so in It Works, Emerald is the 4th rank. So that means you need to have, I didn't like look into what each rank requires in order to move up. So at the very minimum, you'd have to have at least 4 people underneath you and be making enough money in sales to hit that rank. So that's Emerald. And then the next rank, Diamond, has about 1.8% of active distributors. So of all the active distributors, only 1.8, less than 2%, are at Diamond. And keep this in mind. If this were just a room of 100 people, only one person in that room would make anything near a livable wage. And that's an average income of around $13,000 a year. And It Works says that you can reach that rank in an average of 9 months. So, in the time that you could pop out a whole freaking baby, you could also possibly, averagely, rank up high enough in It Works to make $1,000 a month. Whew, honestly, making the baby would be more productive. So, if you average that out to everything below it, so like how long it takes to get to each rank and then how long it takes to get to the next one, your income for your whole first year would be like less than $7,000, taking in the ranks like below it. And that's, of course, before taxes and the startup kit costs and whatever you have to buy to stay active as a distributor. So at the very, very top rank, less than 0.05% of distributors make the top rank, which boasts an average of $24,000 a month. Oh, $24,798. Whew, that is a lot of money. And in a room of 1,000 people, that's what? 5 people that would be at that rank? I can't even imagine what 1,000 people looks like. In our little room of 100, that's not even, like, the chance of one person being in that top rank is completely insignificant. Like, I literally can't even do that math. I can't even do math. I don't even know. Once it's below, like, 1%, it's not even worth it. It's not worth it for me to do the math, and it's not worth it for you to try and get the rank. Okay. Arbonne babes, honey huns from the Arbonne, only 2% ever get to the average annual income of $72,000, which is a lot. That's a lot of money. Anyone would likely be happy, even that 2% up top. They're probably living life to the fullest. But you have to consider the range also. They give you the top 50 average for this rank and the bottom 50 average. The top 50 average, the top 50 in this rank are making over $155,000 a year, while the bottom 50 average income is $27,000 a year. 2% of people in Arbonne make between $27,000 and $155,000, which is like a huge range. 2%, that's the top 2%. In our room of 100, that is 2 people, and one of them is making $155,000, the other one's making $27,000 a year. And the average time to get to that position is 38 months. That's over 3 years to possibly make this a sort of full-time job on that low end of the spectrum. Rodan and Fields, this is one that a lot of girls I went to high school with really like to join. Their top 2% of distributors make up their top 5 ranks. So the top 2% of distributors are spread out between their top 5 ranks, with the lower end being an average annual income of $34,000. Only 0.7 of their distributors, not even a whole person in our 100 people group, not even a whole person, 0.7% of their distributors, less than 1% of everyone are making something near livable wage. A whopping 61.3% of their distributors make less than $1,000 a year. Annually, $1,000 a year. This is from the company. This is literally a document that anyone can access online from the MLM. They openly admit to this. They put it right here in the income disclosure statement that I'll have linked below. Over half of their company makes under $1,000, and the average income for the bottom tier for 61% of people is $325 freaking dollars annually. This is something that will never, ever, ever be worth your time. I promise you. The last MLM that I want to touch on is the very elusive Young Living essential oils, an MLM that I do not have the time or energy to even start on today at all. And this is going to ruffle a few feathers, many feathers actually, among my circle of friends and family and the greater Facebook world, I'm sure. So if you have made it this far, please, I'm begging you, stay. Don't give up on me now. You need to hear this. I promise. Okay. Income disclosure statement. Let's read it. Less than 1% of Young Living distributors make a livable wage at all, or anything near a livable wage. Less than 1%. 0.5% of all the distributors in Young Living make up the top 5 tiers where the average income exceeds $45,000 a year. That's like an average real job. So the rank right below these top 5 is 0.3% of distributors, and they make an average of $14,912 annually. Ooh. This is their silver rank. The lowest rank, which is just called distributor, is 89.6 of all their distributors. And the average income for just a plain old bottom tier distributor is $3. And I understand that many of these bottom level distributors just join because of the discount. But when they make a purchase, a percent of what they pay still goes towards the people in their upline. It still goes to the people they signed up under, to the company, which is, we won't get into it. And these are people, those people up right above distributor are really actually trying to make this their business. And they're going to make sure they do anything to keep you making sales, including post about their essential oils on Instagram and post their family's highlight reel and perpetuate this fear of missing out, this FOMO. I see this a lot with Momstagram. They're going to give new moms this unrealistic expectation of motherhood, and they're going to sell you on this essential oils is what makes it happen for me. This is just how I calm down every day. I'll do a video on this eventually. I'm not going to get into the validity of essential oils in this video. Maybe won't even in the next video. I think that is a whole other topic, and there's a time and a place and someone much more educated than I to do that. But for the record, I use essential oils. Got a couple over here. I really like them. I don't buy from Young Living. I get mine in a local grocery store that I really like and a shop in Seattle that I really like. Before someone tries to come up in here with their facts, with their boss babe facts about, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. I feel like I've just been barfing up a bunch of words. And even in going over my script and going over what I wanted to say, I just felt like I was trying to shove way too much information into one video. So if you're interested in me making another one about MLMs and maybe diving into more specific details, like if there's something you want to know more about, let me know in the comments, because honestly, this was so much fun, and I really enjoyed the process of making this video. So I'd really love to do more stuff like this in the future. Just sprinkling that in there. To conclude, I guess I'd have to say I have indeed proven my thesis that MLMs are generally bad. The business model is really bad. The finances are like shaky at best. And they target vulnerable groups of people who would be way more likely to fall for something that promises friendship and success and flexibility and money, even though we see that the likelihood of actually getting those things is slim to none. You are worth so much more than trying to devote your time to a pyramid scheme. Sorry, an MLM. If you want to take control of your life and give yourself what you've always dreamed of and start your own real business, it's probably going to take more than $50 or $100 or $200. It's going to take a lot of time and energy. But at the end of the day, you're investing in yourself. You're not paying some company to give you a website and send you a bunch of shitty leggings and shitty hair products or shitty whatever. And yes, it's all crap. There's no exceptions. Because the company does not care about its distributors, and it doesn't care about the people buying their product. The company will always protect itself. And that little tiny 1% or less than 1% up at the top, and the people who started it, that is who they care about, and they will leave you high and dry with zero regard for you if it's better for them. They don't care about you at all. And this is why MLMs can suck my ass.